Okay, let's go again, casanova. Maybe knight f3. Let's change. C4 now. He's going to play d4. Do I change the structure or do I play b3? I could play b3 and just let him play d4. Like in the previous game, actually. Bit of a reverse from the previous game. And just try to play for e3 later. Or, I don't know, CD, I mean, he's releasing the bishop. d3, oh, let's play d3. So knight d2 and something like a3, queen c2, e4 plan. Just keep this bishop at home without exchanging on d5 just yet. Okay, e3 here. I'm weakening this d3 with the knight e1s. So a3 and b4 now as a roller. So sort of Benoni in reverse. I've got the e4 square. Knight d2, bishop f5 looks annoying. So how about knight h4, knight g5, like in the previous game, knight g5. I think so, because otherwise bishop g4 is coming anyway to pin the knight. This b4 is a move there. Takes, bishop a1, knight b4. No, I don't think so. Knight e4, f5 is a problem. I could actually maybe knight h3 to f and then f4. Knight h3. Knight c5 is annoying on d3. Am I going to fall apart here? If I can get an f5, then that'll be good, I think, for trying to control e4. There's also bishop f5 is embarrassing. Oh dear. Knight f4, e takes f4. Oh. I have to play that anyway. Queen f3, knight d2. So I'm holding up d3 and develop my pieces. Knight e4 here. Otherwise d3 is dropping off. Alright, he's put my pawns together. Doesn't look so bad again. Maybe it does, I don't know. He's giving up the bishop as well, so maybe e5. It's going to be powerful. Mind you, there's f6 at the moment. Knight d2, there's knight d3. How about queen f3 as previously mentioned? d4 is going to be powerful. Knight d2 in any case. Knight d3, rook a, or bishop c1, or rook b1. I lose a3. Oh, bishop z1. Oh, it's meek. But at least I can take with the queen to avoid losing the a3 pawn. Once I lose a3, then b4 goes, and it's sort of a disaster after that. So how about getting in e5 and knight e4? Okay, this one first. So he's going to let me play for e5 and knight e4. He's going to play queen h4 or something really annoying. e5, there's always f6. Queen e2 first. So knight f4 here. There's knight c1. e5 f6, bishop d5, or how about knight f3? There's queen e4, knight g5. There's nothing really adequate here. What about rook f3, actually, to try and get the rook in? So knight c1, I've still got queen c1, but the rook is also maybe useful over there, I hope. So I still haven't committed to e5 yet. Maybe back to d1 now. Just play rook h3 and the cheeky queen h5. So if f5 e5, but if I play e5 f6, looks devastating to the pawn structure. Actually, you can take on a3. Oh dear, just blundered the a3 pawn. Why didn't you could just take that, but rook h3, I guess. I'll play rook h3 here. Right, so now more tempting to play e5 because f6, bishop d5. I was on my a8 rook as well as f4. Rook, I don't know, rook b1, queen f4. There's queen h5 takes c5. It's on f4. And then queen f1 first, then e5. Try and hold on to everything. It's got queen b2. Actually threatening maybe e5 and rook d3 if he's not careful. Or e5 and bishop e4. E5 and knight e4. I'll try and hold on here. So bishop a3 is still on, but I've got e5 coming up, maybe bishop e4. Also knight e4, then knight f6 and knight g5 might be threats. Or even just rook takes d3. Things looking up, bishop e4, g6. Oh, they still tie me down. Right, bishop e4 anyway. Just try and see if I can get d3. Maybe rook takes d3. It's a cheeky move. Because if bishop e4, rook d3 takes, rook takes. Oh, he's on e4. Now I can play it here. So my knight is actually protecting, because otherwise he took the knight. Okay, so the queen, I think queen get in front of the bishop. This will be good news. So queen c3, queen f3, knight d4. Queen f3 here. Can't see anything else to get the queen lined up. So knight d4, queen e4. Things have turned around. This bishop's a bit out. I'm going to even use the g file. Okay, so another threat against this king this time. So rook g1, it's queen d2 is rook g6. Actually there, that's mating, isn't it? Rook g6. Go for it. So king h8 is rook g8. It's mating, surely. King h7, rook h6 takes, queen h7 mate, because there's pawn stopping g5. Yep, he's resigned. So that was a bit of a dicey game, to say the least. Yeah, this d3 is a bit of a problem, this structure, as it is in the Bologna. But I'm not sure this was that great. Knight g5. If the knight has to go back all of a sudden to h3, so I'm giving him time for a manoeuvre he wants anyway to attack d3, and I've just weakened my structure on the king side as well after this, because there's no adequate way of defending d3 apart from knight f2. So he weakens my pawns. Isolated pawn, weak, horrible d3 pawn. But I think this was controversial. Bishop e4. He started to give me hope for later playing e5, but not when he can play f6. But So I tried to avoid that temptation. Just trying to play e5 at the appropriate moment. So here, so it's given me some opportunities now. Not just attacking his king, but also this d3 pawn. Oh, of course he had to play h6 to defend h7 anyway. So I was back in the game all of a sudden here. So with the attack. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.